What's up everybody, Brad here with the Money Dad channel. In this video we are talking about Ford, the electric vehicle company now. Can we say that? Anyway, the reason for this video is this chart pattern right here. There is a breakout above it and I want to get into the specifics on that, but I do want to talk about the catalyst for this move because it's pretty clear what it is. Ford last week unveiled its Ford Lightning. That is a pickup truck that is going to be all electric. It's looking pretty good. So I do think that was the beginning of this move to the upside. Kind of the hype surrounding them unveiling it, and then the actual presentation went well, and then we had Biden's administration coming out and saying that they're going to allocate a ton of money to electric vehicle makers. But all that said, Friday's big move of 6.73%, in my opinion, was not about any of those things. There was one very specific thing that I thought was the big reason for the move. All of those things helped, certainly. But the one thing that I think was reported that really sent this stock moving was right here. Ford is going to make their own battery cells. That's a big deal, right? Tesla makes their own battery cells. That's how they're able to cut into expenses, right? They're able to reduce expenses. They're able to make their cars at a, look, we can argue if they're profitable or not based on the kickbacks they get from the government, but Tesla is at the bottom line profitable, and the big reason is they make their own batteries. And Ford traditionally, as a traditional vehicle making company, has had razor thin profit margins, right? Look, 2017, 5%, that was a very good year. 2018, 2%. 2019, flat. 2020, negative 1%. They've done better recently when we drop down into the quarterlies for 2020 at 5%, 6%, and then one bad quarter kind of ruined the year at negative 7%. And then the most recent quarter, they were 9% profit margin, which is fantastic for a traditional motor company. So, excuse me, still battling that throat issue, guys. I'm sorry that you have to listen to that. But the story here is they're going to make their own batteries, and that is huge. Because first of all, you can control your own supply, you can control your own quality assurance of the battery, right? But you're also making the things cheaper, right? You don't have another company selling them to you at a profit for them. You are making them for yourself, which reduces your cost. So that is a huge deal in my opinion. That is the big reason for the move to the upside on Friday, that 6.73%. Okay, so that's the catalyst. So we have the catalyst. Let's get into the chart pattern. Okay, so we have this channel coming down. We have this run up to it. It's looking like a bull flag. We have our breakout on big volume, right? The volume's the big thing. That's kind of our indicator that tells us this breakout is for realsies. So how do we target the upside? What is going to be our target to the upside, right? Because we broke out of this channel, right? We were chopping around in this channel to the downside, and we have a clear break of the trend. We are outside of the channel now. So that means things have changed. We should be able to play this as a trade, as a short-term trade. Could be short to medium term, right? This could take a week to get to this price target, or it could take, I don't know, a month, maybe, something like that, right? Because this flag right here took us from the middle of March to middle of May. So we're talking a 2-month-long flag. So I don't think that this is going to take very long to get to our price target, but it could take maybe upwards of a month. I don't expect that. Just letting you know that it could. Okay. So how do we find that price target? Well, we need to find out where our flagpole is. I originally thought that the flagpole was going to start right here because this looks like a flagpole to me, right? This, I mean, that just kind of makes sense, right? You got your flagpole, you got your flag, there's your bull flag. Looking good. Unfortunately, I don't think that's the case. I'm going to play this a little bit more conservatively because this run-up right here, you see this run-up portion right here on big volume, huge volume. Then we saw a pullback on descending volume right here. I think this kind of exhaustion move killed, this is a whole separate structure right here, in my opinion. So I'm not going to include that in our bull flag pole, unfortunately, because that's going to cut into our gains, or our target anyway. But we want to, place this trade and come out with a win, come out with some profits. We don't want to be chasing a target that is too high that we never achieve, and then the stock starts to pull back while we're, shooting for that target, and we start to lose money on this. So we're going to be more conservative. We're going to play this right. We're going to, increase our chances as much as possible to make money on this trade, okay? So we're going to start it after that exhaustion move right there and go to the high where the flag started. That's our flagpole, okay? So we take our flagpole, we start it where we think the new bull run is starting. Where's the low of the new bull run? It looks like it could be right here, but this little candlestick right here is a little bit lower, so we're going to start our flagpole right there, and that is going to trace us out to our price target. Easy as that. So before I show you guys that target, I want to let you know these things tend to pull back and come and test this trend line right here, right? The top of the bull flag that was resistance when we were inside of it, and it now should act as support now that we're above it. It should act as support when we come down and test it. So I could see Ford, retracing a lot of these gains back to the downside and maybe even coming down to like that $12 range, testing this trend line right here and then heading up to our price target. That is very common for a bull flag breakout. It doesn't happen every time though. Sometimes they just rip to the upside. So it's up to you guys if you want to get in now and just kind of play out this downtrend, and then we bounce off of this and head to the upside. It's totally up to you, because it's, if you get in now and then we see that downtrend, it's not going to look good for the first, few days or the first week or so. But you have to have faith that we're going to bounce off of this trend line. It doesn't happen every time either. So it's up to you guys if you want to do that and risk that, or if you want to wait until we come down here and test that and then enter a trade. There's risk in that move as well, because we may never retrace. We may just head straight up. So there's a couple of different ways that this can play out. It's up to you guys how you want to play that, okay? So without further ado, we're going to copy that flagpole, and we're going to move it to start where we think our new bull run is starting, which is right there, right? And that gives us an upside target of $14.61, right? So $14.60 on a 1330 stock, right? The stock is currently sitting at $13.33. So we have a $1.30 upside from where we're at right now on a 1330 stock. That's like exactly 10%. So 10% upside on this trade. It's a pretty, well, it was a slow-moving stock. It was like kind of a, a blue chip stock. Didn't move a whole lot. There wasn't a lot of volatility with this one. But now that it's an electric vehicle company, I mean, can we say it's, like going to start acting like Tesla now? I don't think so. But it's kind of funny to compare it that way. It's like, well, Ford is only a $50 billion company. It's an electric vehicle company now, so maybe it could be a $1 trillion company. No, I'm just kidding. There's memes out there about stuff like that where it's like, hey, Apple is an electric vehicle company now. We could add another $1 trillion to that market cap. No, that's all silliness. I'm just joking with you guys there. But I do think there's 10% upside on this stock chart. just be aware of the risks. We could see a little pullback to test this trend line right here. I would place a stop loss underneath this trend line so that if we break under it and it starts to break down, you don't continue to lose more of your money. And once we get close to that, what was it, 1460, once we get closer to that 1460 price target, I would probably set a trailing stop loss at that point, so that you lock in gains if we start to pull back down after we get closer to that target. So that's how I would play this, guys. Totally up to you. You know, you guys have your preferences, how you like to do these things, but that is what I see here. I just want to let you know, hey, looks like there's some potential for a good trade here. However you want to do that trade is totally up to you, you know. That's all I'm going to have for Ford. If you guys like this, please hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber yet, hit the subscribe button. If you want to see my trades in near real time, my buys, my sells, my thoughts before I buy or sell, please consider joining the channel as a member. It's a small monthly fee, and that goes mostly to me and my family, and it helps support me and my family and the channel, and I really appreciate anybody that does that. Thank you so much to everybody that has already done that. Helps me out a lot. So that's all I've got for this video. I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks.